On YouTube and your favorite podcast platform. This is Zambia's #1 podcast with Chellah and Fortress.
Man, so listen, before we get into your interesting journey and your career, you were born in Chingola.
Yes.
What was it like growing up there at that time?
So what happened is I was born in Chingola,
Yeah.
Changa South Hospital.
Right.
Yeah, and then we stayed there for some time, and then I moved because my mother. I did my nursery school in Chingola.
Okay.
Because my mother was working for the Catholic Church. Yeah, and at that time my parents separated before I was even born. So when my mother was pregnant.
Yeah.
So when I was born, yeah, I lived with my mother there in Chingola. We stayed there up to like maybe 7-8 years or so. Yeah, then I went to Kasama.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I started grade 1 at Kasenda Primary School. Yeah, and then after some time, I came back to the Copper Belt and then lived in Luansha, between Luansha and Chingola.
Right.
Yeah, so it was just the normal, yeah, you know, where back in the days there were all these social games.
Yeah. All those.
Isolo, what? Those are the games that kept us going.
So you've never seen your dad?
No, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He came around at some point.
Yeah, because after I went to the village with my mother, my father hid that I was suffering that side.
Right.
So he said, no, bring him back. So I came back, and then I found another stepmother, and man, it's quite a long story because
It was a stereotypical story of stepmothers.
yeah, and then because initially when my mother gave, I don't like talking about this because I've forgiven my father.
Right.
But I just talk about it for the sake of just, you know, people to understand, okay, where we're coming from.
Exactly.
Because it's part of my history.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he denied me that I was his son. Yeah, and he never wanted to associate with me, you know, but as, you know, life changes, you know. I remember at one point telling me, you'll not be anything in life, you. Yeah, but here we are. Yeah, so, I mean, we are back.
Yeah.
And recently I was on the Copper Belt. I visited him.
Yeah.
Yes, I was seeing him. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
But you're good now with him, like it's all good.
We are good.
That's great.
We are good.
That's great. Man, it takes a lot to actually come to a place of forgiveness, especially. I grew up for example, in a house where I had both mom and dad. I can only imagine how it was growing up with your mom alone, like a single mother raising such a strong king like yourself. Man, it's crazy. Were you like a straight A student in school? Like
in school, I remember. Okay, in grade 1, I passed number 6.
Yeah.
And I was not happy. Okay, that was in Kasenda Primary School. And because I was staying with a very bad auntie, I should say. She never wanted me to go to school. She was ill-treating me. Before I go to school, she would send me to go and sell fritters. First of all, you wash plates, clean the house. Imagine at 7 years, 8 years, you're doing all those house chores. You know, you wake up very early, and when you're waking up, they wake you up with the mulberry stick.
Yeah. Without the leaves.
Yeah, the way it used to pen. So, and you're still sleeping even in a chicken run. This side the chickens, they've demarcated, and this side it's you. Yeah, that's how rough it used to be. But that's the first period I was there. And I was going through that.
Right.
I never did well the first term in school. But with time I got used, and then I started getting number 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in school.
Wow.
That's how I was.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. That's amazing. Which secondary school did you complete your...
I was at Serenge Boys.
Serenge Boys.
Yeah. Pompompo Barracks. We used to call it Pompompo Barracks.
Why the name? Why the name?
Because it's a barrack. They used to beat there.
It's more like a military setup.
Yeah, it's not a military school.
Yeah.
But the way they used to just teach, back in the days, boarding schools, you find your head boy, even as kids,
Right.
the big guys like this. You're learning with guys, man.
It's crazy, man.
It's not like today,
Yeah.
where a grade 8 or grade 10 is like 15, 16 years old. They're looking very young. When you look at them, you're like, wait a minute.
Old people
This
then.
one looking like this, I was like this, I was in grade 5 or 6 or something like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
On YouTube and your favorite podcast platform. This is Zambia's #1 podcast with Chellah and Fortress.